Hello and welcome to the Avrum Rosensweig Show.
Hi.
Welcome to one of the internet's best podcasts, where we dive deep into the lives of the extraordinary and fascinating people who leave an indelible mark on our world. Join us as we explore their captivating stories, remarkable achievements, and unique perspectives that shape history and inspire generations. Get ready to embark on a journey through the lives of inspiring people unlike any other.
Hello, folks, and welcome to the show. My name is indeed Avrum Rosensweig, and I am absolutely delighted to be here. Chag Sameach, happy Hanukkah. Before we launch into the show, which is going to be a fascinating one, I do want to say that there was a terrible terrorist attack in Australia today. And from what I understand, the numbers are up to 11 people have been murdered. We wish the Australian Jews well. We pray for them. We learn on their behalf. But the most important thing is that, like Hanukkah, when the light of the menorah illuminates our lives, illuminates our space, that is what we need to do. We need to bring light to the world because of what is happening to us and to remember those people. So I ask you to do that today. And I think when you listen to the interview today, you will feel somewhat illuminated as well. So let me introduce my guests. The first is Nir Amitay. How are you, Nir?
Shalom. Baruch Hashem. It's not an easy day, so I will say okay, but inside my heart, that there's a huge pain for our brothers and sisters that in the first candle of Hanukkah are murdered because they're Jews. So I'm okay, but painful.
Yes, I agree. And amen. And I also want to introduce Julia Jacobson. How are you, Julia?
Hello. I'm excited to be here.
Oh, it's very nice to have you. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm grateful.
Thanks for having us.
Oh, for sure. Let me formally introduce the two. In the middle of a quiet sheep pasture stands Nir Amitay, an officer from an elite unit in the IDF, still serving in the reserves. But the story we're about to hear isn't about rank or uniform. It's about what happens when a life is split in two by a single night. In 2016, Nir went for a beer in Tel Aviv with his very best friend, Shimi. It was ordinary. It was familiar until it wasn't. A terrorist attack erupted on Dizengoff Street, and in the chaos, Nir held his friends in his arms as Shimi passed away. For years, Nir kept moving forward as so many do, carrying grief without naming it. It wasn't until unexplained pain seized his heart 4 years later that he began to understand how deeply trauma had lodged inside of him. And when a fellow soldier suffered from PTSD, post-traumatic, set himself on fire in a desperate plea just to be seen, something in Nir broke open. That moment became a turning point. It led to the creation of Rimon Farms, a place of healing for those carrying invisible wounds. It's supported by the United Jewish Appeal, and the farm offers something very, very rare: recovery through nature, through working with wood and metal, through breath, movement, and stillness, yoga, acupuncture, meditation, and a return to the body, a return to the self. Rimon Farms was established just 6 months before October 7th, and when the terrible day came, it was ready. The farm runs two essential programs focused on prevention, helping soldiers before trauma takes hold, and another devoted to those already living in its grip. Julia Jacobson is 29 years old and grew up in Bethesda, Maryland, in the Washington, D.C. area. After a gap year in Israel, she made Aliyah and now lives in the small Negev community of Ritamim. She served as a lone soldier in the IDF in the Education Corps and earned her bachelor's degree in tourism management from the Hebrew University of Jerusalem. Today, Julia works at Rimon Farms, where she is responsible for building and nurturing partnerships with North America. Kol hakavod. She's married to Gabrielle and is the mother of their son, Nivo, who is almost 2 years old. Welcome to the two of you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Now, Nir, you have a fascinating background, and let's work backwards to move forward. It's not surprising that one day you would have opened Rimon Farms because you were born on a kibbutz, right?
Yeah, I was born in a kibbutz Lav in the south of Israel. It's between Beersheba and Kiryat Gat, small kibbutz, and it's kind of village that everybody is taking care of you. You're like you've got lot of I've got only one mom and one father, but it feels like it's the best community to grow in. That everybody is raising you. So that's I think that's this is the roots of my like a community that I want to be in community. That's why I created this network of farms. And Avrum, if it's okay to just to say it, in the beginning it was Rimon Farm. Rimon on the name of a Jewish settlement from Joshua book, one of 29 settlements. And in the beginning, I was sure it's going to be one farm. The first farm was established 2 years before October 7th for youth at risk in the South because we realized that there is a huge problem for dropped out kids that don't have any solution. And then after two years later, we realized 6 months before October 7th with the Ministry of Defense that there is another huge problem with as you said very precisely the people that you cannot see the wounds. So before October 7, we had two farms: one Rimon for youth at risk, and one for um, people with PTSD that coping with PTSD. Lahav farm.
I just want to give my listeners and viewers a bit more of a context to who you are and your background. You played a very important role in the IDF. You were an officer and you were there for 17 years. But more importantly, to understand the farms themselves, I want to know what's in your blood. I want to know what's in your neshama. So when you're growing up on a kibbutz, are kibbutznikim different than people who live in the city?
We wake up in the morning and we eat soil. So I think we are like ordinary persons, but they teach you from the very first moment about responsibility
Yes.
and about that you need to work very hard. From the age of 13, I started work. I woke up in 4 p.m. in the age of
4 a.m.
13. 4 a.m. Thank you, Julia. My father told me that if I want to achieve something in my life, I need to work very, very hard. And from 14 to 17, I worked in the carpentry, and
Yes.
then from 17 to 19, I worked in the field. And then I was ready to my duty in the Israeli Defense Force, and I think it's interesting because I'm from kibbutz, from ultra secular kibbutz, but now I'm a believer, and I became believer because that terror attack that you mentioned in 2016.
How did that happen inside your mind, inside your heart?
I sat in a bar. I was sure that I'm safe. I'm in the middle of Tel Aviv. I left my gun. I always carry a gun. In Israel, it's good habit to carry a gun. And in the beginning, it was January 1st. Another 3 weeks from now, we're going to have like a decade, 10 years from that day that changed my life and many others. So I started to hear the shootings, and I said to myself, oh my gosh, I don't have the gun. So I started to crawl to the kitchen. I was sure that I'm going to get out from a door that I'm seeing a door. And then I came and I realized it's not a door. It was my imagination. It's a wall. And I was stood in the corner. I've done like this, and I didn't know what is Shema Israel, but now when I know what is Shema Israel, because I'm a believer, so I've done it, and I understood that I'm going to die. I realized that this is the last seconds in my life, and suddenly it was like suddenly quiet. The shooting stopped. Uh, I was so mufta,
Surprised.
kind of surprised and shocked that I'm alive. I took an empty glass of beer and started to run after the terrorist. I came back. I've seen Shimon, my friend. I started to do CPR. All my body was covered with his blood. And then I remember that I've got the gun in the apartment. I ran to bring the gun, getting bullet inside, and tried to catch the terrorist, but he ran away. That was in Friday, and they told me to come back to the work in Sunday. So in the beginning, in the first 6 months, I remember that I didn't. I had a problem to get to sleep, and I started to learn about Judaism and about what is my roots, who is I am. And after 4 years, as you mentioned, I started to feel strange pains in my chest. I went to the doctor, and after overall checks, he told me, Nir, you don't have any physical problem in your heart. Try to check. I remember that he told me, Nir, try to check something else. And kind of, it was kind of in a laugh way. It was a cynical way to say it. Go to see like a psychologist.
Yes.
And I told him I tried, and then I found the book that changed my life, Mesilat Yesharim.
Yeah.
And I read it. I didn't understand anything because I'm from kibbutz, secular kibbutz. I called my friend from Ofra, my religious friend, and we started to learn together. And we read the sentence, Simu levavchem al darkechem. Align your path of life with your heart. And then I realized I need to quit the army and do something else. And that was the something else was to create the Rimon Farm.
Nir, can you tell us just a little bit about Shimmy?
Yeah, Shimi was from Ofakim, and we had a great connection between the kibbutznikim and the people from Ofakim because we've learned together in one of the kibbutzim. And Shimi was my neighbor in Be'er Sheva. He worked in like a big company of a network company. He was really smart, and he loved to invite everyone to be in his house. He was a great cooker. And after he died, he murdered. So his mom, um, she made a great like a book for recipes. The name of him. And I think Iris, his mom, she's doing a great job to remind all of us that he's still with us. And in the first farm, Rimon Farm, we've got two memorials from Shimi and to Alon. Alon was like 2 meters for me, and he murdered also. And my son called Alon. It's not easy for me, to.
Yes.
But I have a son, Alon Israel.
Do you see things in your son that Alon had inside of him?
I didn't know Alon. I know him, and I only after he murdered from his mom. Alon, I didn't know him while I was sitting in the bar. Shimi was my friend. We came together, but Alon, he was in charge of the bar, and our life suddenly, came together because he was kind of, I don't know, and it's still like freaking me out why God decided to take him and not me. We were like kind of 20, and only me and 2 or 3 persons didn't get the bullets. Then I understood that I've got a mission. I need to do something. God wants from me something to do my duty, my destiny. Then I was need to find my destination. So now I know for now what is my destination to create therapeutic farms in the Israeli Negev for those who suffer from post trauma and from emotional difficulties, for the people who suffered from the October 7th. We need to be there for them in those farms. And this is what we try to do.
Near, there is a happiness index. I don't know if you're familiar with it. And what it does is it determines which countries are the happiest in the world. Israel is very high up on that index. And what I really want to know from you is, after all you have gone through, all the tourists, like we say, the problems, seeing death in front of you, are you a happy man?
I think now I became a 40 a few months ago. And now I
Mazal.
think toda. I'm the happier person that I've ever been. And I know why. Because I've got a great meaningful. I have meaningful or I have meaning.
Meaning in your life. Yeah, purpose.
So I have I have purpose in my life. I have meaning in my life. When I go to sleep in the nighttime, I can't wait to see the sunrise. I want to serve my country, my people, my my vicinity. I want to serve them because I think I'm a shaliach. I have a mission.
Yeah.
So I can't wait for another day. So I'm happy. I'm happy
Oh,
to be alive. I'm happy that I have my destiny. I'm happy that I have my mission, and I'm happy that I have the best staff in the world. We've got now 200 people. Some of them volunteers, some of them social workers, psychological, psychiatrists, gap year, national service workers, and they are the best. All our succeed or success,
Success.
all of our success, it's thanks to them. Thanks to them. Thanks to their sense of responsibility. I've got the best stuff in the world. So I'm happy. And I've got the best wife in the world. And I've
so
got the
I want
best son. And thanks God, Bezrat Hashem, we're going to have the second. She's going to be the second
Bisha
2
Tova.
weeks from now. Bezrat Hashem.
Bisha Tova. Before we dive into the farms, because that's the essence of what we're here for, tell me, what is your wife like?
She's beautiful
Yeah.
from inside and outside, right, Julia? She's the most beautiful wife that I have. She's amazing. She's smart. She's brilliant, and I think I love her and I appreciate her so much because the fact that she knows that I am in the middle of a mission, and she knows it. I come home very late. I wake up before 5 a.m. every day, and I go uh, in the morning. Sometimes she needs to take alone, or most of the time she takes alone to the kindergarten. And I admire her for her patience, for that she allowing me to do what I think and I believe and I feel that God wants from me.
Julia, we're lucky to have you here in this interview. And once again, thank you very much for joining us. You have a fascinating background yourself. But what really intrigues me is you work with or for Nir. He is a major, so he's highly ranked in the army. He's done a lot of incredible work on behalf of the Jewish people in Israel. He runs these farms, which is magnificent. What does he like to work for?
I think Nir is the kind of person that really has a vision and knows how to get things going and make it happen. He works like at a very high pace, and I
Yes.
think expects everyone around him too also, and I think that that's kind of part of why the magic happens, like, and why we're able to have so much impact in the Negev and for the whole Jewish people. So.
And you have an interesting job because on Rimon Farms you work with basically diaspora Jewry or North American Jewry, the United Jewish Appeal, the United Jewish Appeal Federation in Montreal, and now in Toronto. You do magnificent work. Have you learned things from Nir because of where he has come from in order to develop yourself within your own job?
Definitely. I mean, I think Nir has really like high expectations for himself and for the people around him, but really it's all, you can always see that it's based from this place of really believing in doing good for his community, for people who are suffering from post-trauma, youth at risk, basically, all the communities that we work with as well. And I think that kind of, if like he reminds me that if when you have this like guiding light of like, why are you doing this? Why are you working so hard? It really gives you the strength to do what you need to do, even if it's, more difficult than you thought.
Are you familiar with Viktor Frankl, Man's Search for Meaning? Mm-hmm. So that's basically what you're saying is when there's a why, there's a way, correct?
For sure.
Nir, so you decide after going through a lot of life and a lot of challenges that you're going to farm. What happened on the first day?
In the first, I think after 17 years that I served in the military, it was so clear that I'm doing what I need to do. So to come back again to the land of Israel, because the Judaism, we came from a agriculture background, and I think most of us forgot it. So to come back to the land of Israel, to touch again the land, to grow lettuce and tomatoes and oranges and orange and cucumbers and to do it with at-risk youth, it's just a strong thing to know that by the connection to the soil, you are helping so many souls. For me, it's a lot of meaning for me. And I've got a nice video that I just sent to my organization from the first day that I took a like huge hammer and I started to establish the fence. That was the first thing that we've done. We said this is our border, so that was a very strong day. And since then, it was 5 years ago. Since then, it's crazy and beautiful journey that so many people came to this bus and driving with us this journey, and to hear from Julia what she thinks and what she feels about the organization, about what we do. So in a humble way, I thanks to God that he gave me the right, the privilege to let more people to see what I see.
I myself started an organization, as I mentioned to you before. It was a Jewish humanitarian organization. We worked with Israelis all over the world, in Haiti, in Ducha, Turkey, etc. And I remember, like you're saying, the first 5 years Nir, it was a honeymoon. The entire time was a honeymoon. Remember when we got our first, in Canada, it's very cold, not like in Beersheba. And we got our first coat hanger. And I remember to my girlfriend at the time, I said, this is the first coat hanger of the first Jewish humanitarian organization in Canada ever, right? That's the feeling you're talking about, right? It's a honeymoon.
Yeah. And I'm afraid that we're going to grow and grow, and we're going to be big,
Yeah.
huge organization because the need is so huge.
Yes.
But I know uh, I will try and I will do my best to preserve this like family feelings that today we said goodbye to our head of staff, Reut. She's going to Bezrat Hashem to have a birth one day before my wife.
Shatova.
So it was so moving to see everyone. We created a family,
Yes.
and we want to preserve it as a family to grow because now we are in a huge growth. We're, we're now establishing, as we speak, 7 new places in the Israeli Negev. So I can't believe that I'm saying it, but Julia, yeah, right? We're doing it.
I
Bezrat Hashem, we're doing it.
Yeah.
my advice to you, if I may, is what you said is extremely important. It's the idea of creating a family environment and then maintaining it. And there are books out there which you should read and you should ask people. Excuse me. There are big corporations near that manage to do a lot, but yet they're able to maintain that feeling of mishpacha. But it's an art. It's artwork. You really
You
have
know
to.
Jim Collins?
No, no, I don't. No.
Jim Collins, he's kind of my mentor. And
Ah,
if
okay.
and Avrum, maybe you can help me. One of my dreams is to meet Jim Collins because he affected me in a positive way so much. He wrote the book From Good to Great.
I will do my best. I promise you, I will try.
Jim Collins.
Jim Collins.
He's so smart.
If
Wow.
you're out there.
If you're out there, Jim, you're listening, right? Julia, one of the things that in your explanation to potential donors, you have to have a very good sense of what you're doing, what you're trying to accomplish, what Rimon Farms goals are. One of the questions I think if I were to ask if I were to be a donor is what is the kesher, as we say, the connection between rehabilitation, between getting healthier, between getting better, and the earth? Why is it that when people, are on their knees and they're picking fruits or they're planting seeds, for some reason that is in itself a refuah? That is how does that work?
So I think at Rimon Farms, we see it in a few ways. One, really just being in the space, like kind of a space that's maybe if you're like live in a city, being in a different space, it kind of gives you like a different kind of perspective. Like the view from all of our farms, especially, I mean, I'm picturing right now Rimon and also Lav and Shekef also, whatever. We have a bunch of different farms and really just like being in the space, there's something that like your body just feels different. Like the moment that you walk into those spaces, like I feel like my heart just kind of isn't beating as fast, and there's something really calming like about the environment. But part of our theory and like what we're working on is that kind of seeing agriculture and seeing like the process like of planting something and then watching it grow. And then we also have like a coffee shop that we send the fruits and vegetables that are growing to be then like we sold and ate and all that stuff, like to really see that whole process. There's something healing. It's kind of a mirror to
Yes.
each one of us. We can look at that plant that's growing and then becoming something that's kind of useful and tasty and that nourishes other people. That can kind of be like a metaphor for our own growth, and having that active role in that process is really meaningful for a lot of people.
Do you yourself within your job, do you ever go out to the fields and bend down
I
and
need two more.
right? That's the challenge. That's the challenge of a fundraiser. It's staying in the field, right?
Totally. Yeah.
Does your husband and your little guy come out at all to the fields?
Yeah, my husband is actually an agronomist, so he has his own he's in the fields every day, but they're
Okay.
not at Rimon Farms.
But I think it's that's the it's good place to say it, that we're not like a regular farmers.
Yeah.
We don't use like a chemical material. I'm not saying anything about your great husband. We
The
are not doing
politics there.
the industrial. We are not doing the industrial. We are try to do like a minimum tilling, minim. Our all the materials it's organic, and we try to see it as in holistic management. There is a method called permanent culture, permanent agriculture. We try to be not only sustainable, we want to make the soil even better, to create a new life, new environment, because we as a human beings, we are not doing so much good to the land, so we try to do it. Our our slogan, it's for the people through the land. We will never forget the land. And I think Julia said it very correct. Some people, some tough soldier came from Gaza after I think 6 months. He came to one of the farms and he told me, Nir, it's the first time that I'm able to breathe now. I am able to relax. And we work in a method with four elements. We do the psychotherapy. We're talking with social workers, people that know how to talk like in
Therapeutically.
therapeutically. And then there's really tough things that going out, and they can do. You can be overwhelmed, and you can cry. And then the second element after psychotherapy and talking, the second element is to walk in the field, in the vineyard, with the herds. We've got cattle, we've got sheep, we've got orchard, we've got vegetable garden. So we want to walk, we want to move ourselves, we want to sweat. And then we're going to the body soul, as you said, to the yoga, to the tai chi, sound healing, ice bath, the impossible word that I will never be able to pronounce, what you do here.
Acupuncture.
I cannot say. And then we're going to talk again, and then in the evening we're going to sit in the bonfire to have a barbecue, because we try to let the people know that it's going to be journey. They're going to meet sadness, happiness, toughness. It's going to be journey, and we want to try to teach them in the process that it's okay to feel everything. And we've got from prevention, from 3, 4, 5 days of session therapy to prevent post trauma, up to 6 months of processes that people already suffering from severe symptoms of PTSD. So we have like 25 different programs in our organization. We want to help as much as to variety of population.
Nir, while I listen to your story and what you've developed together with your staff and your volunteers, the question that comes to me inevitably is, how did you come up with all these ideas? I know that when I started my organization, the first day I was sitting at the phone waiting for it to ring. It took me a while to come up with a strategy. And only when I started to speak to other people did I develop one. Are you a good strategist?
I'm okay with this, but I think I'm good. I'm good at dreamer. I love to dream, and I've got a best team to take my dreams to the reality. Uh, I've got a vision. We've got a vision. I've got also the best board that's supporting me, giving me very good back. I think we created very good base, And when you create a good base, you can grow
Yeah.
like a good apartment, good house. You need a very good yesodot,
Foundation.
foundations.
Foundation.
So
Here's another good term for you as well. In Canada, when we talk about hockey teams,
hockey
you
teams.
know, they always have what's called their farm team. It's the team, it's a feeder team. They take players from them. So you actually do have a farm team, right?
Yeah, and we try to while we grow, we try always to come back to our baselines because we have a triangle. We want to help people through Israeli ecological agriculture while strengthening the Negev. This is our baselines. This is the triangle. So if we're going to stick with these elements, but to stick it very hard, very strong, and it's not easy because every day someone calls me and tells me, Nir, we want to create farm in the north. We want to do this. We want to do that, and I'm telling them I can help you, but we have to stay on focus
Yes.
because now our mission is to make the Western Negev bloom again. We want to create network of farms in the Western Negev, in the Gaza envelope. It's so important. I just talked with someone from Nir Oz yesterday, someone from Cholit today, someone from Be'eri today. It's impossible to understand what happened to those people.
Yes.
They are my heroes. The fact that they're waking up every day, they choosing life, they are our heroes. We are just want to give them the best setting for make the process of healing, but they are the heroes, not us. And I want to say, with your permission, Avrum,
Yes.
another thing so important in this day that our brothers and sisters killed in Australia. I came to Canada a few months ago, and I told in front of 800 people in the audience, I told them that I am a reservist, but you are also, Avrum, you are also. You are in reserve duty. We can't and we couldn't do it, what we've done since October 7th and since 1948, we couldn't do it without you. And it's not only the money, it's the fact that we know that we will never walk alone. We have you together. We are one. So I think Julia will agree with me. Julia still have a big family in the diaspora, but we are one. And I want all of you, all the people that listen now, I want you to know that we love you. We appreciate what you do for us, and we will never take it for granted again because we took it for granted too long time. And I know that in Israel, and I know that I'm speaking in the name of millions here, we are not taking it for granted, and we are appreciate and we love you.
Nir, you're magnificent, you know. You're magnificent. I spoke to our friend Itzhak Levitt, who's the chairperson of the Givati Brigade Association, in an interview that we did together. And at the end of it, I said, do you know how special you are? He laughed. He laughed. He said to me, Avrum, in Israel, we're all like this. That's what he said.
Itzik, he's a great guy. He's doing so much for his soldiers, and his soldiers came to our farms to the therapeutic processes.
Yes.
And he told me that it was so helpful. So
He took a friend of mine down, or he was going to take a friend to show him your farm. So you actually have a beautiful sort of symbiosis, how you work together. Julia, I know that one of the things that the farms does is to, in a very difficult way to understand, prepare soldiers for the potential of post-traumatic stress. How does that happen?
I don't think we necessarily, that's not exactly like the way we look at it. We look at it more as like preventing.
Preventative, yes.
Yeah. And that I think all of us, can use different skills and learn different things in order to, live healthier lives. And so the things that we're trying to give, I think we're trying to give soldiers, the space to be able to process. And not every person who goes through a traumatic experience is going to develop PTSD. And so even someone who is not going to develop PTSD can still definitely, benefit from just being able to process, their experiences. Neil, maybe you want to add on that also?
Yeah, Nir, is there a way indeed of dealing with soldiers prior to them going in Gaza or anywhere else to, I guess, prepare them somewhat or give them the tools, as Julia said, in order to maintain as healthy a situation as possible?
First of all, I want to say that I think it's not my opinion. It's kind of fact that today there is the Ministry of Defense, the IDF. They have איך אומרים, מודעות, consciousness,
They're aware.
aware.
Awareness.
We got a good awareness, and I think the commanders doing a very good preparation before they getting into Gaza or Lebanon. But I think the one of the best thing that this organization have done, that in October 8th, my clinical manager came to me and he told me, Nir, 400,000 of people going to the military, 10 to 20% from them going to develop post-trauma symptoms. We need to help those people. It's 80,000 people. Let's try to prevent them from suffering post-trauma. And all the people that we went to talk with them told us that it's at unresponsibility. It's too dangerous. We cannot do processes while the war is still running. And we believe that we are going to do something okay. And we were the first in Israel that did the processes to prevent between 3 to 5 days to prevent PTSD. And it's so important. Today, I think more than 15 organizations, great organizations, with Ministry of Defense, with National Security Insurance, with Ministry of Health, doing this practice. And it's so important to try to prevent the post-trauma. And also, we're doing it with kids, with youth, not only youth at risk, because now in Israel, everybody is in risk to develop post-trauma. So now, with national insurance, we created a new program that's trying to help young adults to prevent post-trauma. So
How do you do that? How do you prevent it?
to prevent it, we are taking them once a week to the farm. We try to give them a new vicinity, a new atmosphere. We walk. We love the wooden walk. We create things from wood. We have a bakery, so we love in the farm. We love to bake things, to touch dough.
Yes.
And to touch the soil, to plant lettuce, and they come once a week, up to 8 weeks, and then if they need more, that they will get more. But we try to work in the method of small steps and small wins. נכון אומרים wins, ניצחונות קטנים?
Yeah.
So we want to give them I'll give you an example. One of the first kids that came to the farm came from really tough background, real tough background. I cannot, I, I couldn't imagine that people in Israel living like that, like this. He suffered from abuse. He was addicted to drugs, and then he started to plant a lettuce. And after a few weeks, we sold it to some to we in like in open market. And one of the ladies came and she asked who planted this lettuce. This is the most tasty lettuce and beautiful lettuce that I ever seen. And he told her like I am. And she told him, wow, it's beautiful. And then a few weeks later he came to us and he told us, I want to study. I want to study mathematics, English, because I want to speak better than Nir. And then he told us that he want to go to the military. But how come? You've got records, you've got files in the police. And then we helped them. And he walked to the he went to the military. So they need to build the self-esteem, the sense that they're good. Because some of the people feels and they know that they are not good enough. And this is with youth at risk. And the problem with PTSD, there's two major problems. One, it's the guilty of the survivor guilty. And the second, it's the lack of confidence. I know one teacher, he used to talk in front of 40 students. He cannot do it right now. We don't have the confidence. He went out, and now we're going to have him in the farm as a worker, a farmer. I told him, let's try step by step to build your confidence. But I want him to come back to the classroom. But this is the most difficult things with PTSD. You don't have confidence to be with your wife, with your kids, with your mates, with nothing. You want to sit on the couch and smoke weed. And we want to give them the tools to get out from this situation. It's so important. And now, Avrum, we have a great, I love this program to bring as much as people as we can to the workforce again. Because we believe that it's not enough to give people the therapy process, the therapeutic process for 6 months. After 6 months of therapy, we need to bring them back to work. We need to give them the ability to have to get a salary, to be paid, to feel good, to feel מוצלחים.
Successful.
Yeah, and competent.
Confident. Yeah.
Yes. What did you say now?
I said competent.
What is this?
Like מסוגלות.
תחושת מסוגלות.
Yeah.
So this is what we try to do, and it works. It works.
Kol hakavod. Julia, I interviewed Ella Levgorin. Ella was at the Nova Festival on October 7th. She lost 6 friends on that day. But she herself obviously escaped with a few other friends. And the next, really, I would say 2 years, she went through a form of rehabilitation, which was very, very difficult. And suffice it to say that she was a mess. But today, she comes to the diaspora. She speaks in front of synagogues. She stands there with grace and beauty, and she speaks in the most positive terms about what she had to go through in order to become healthy. It's an amazing story to listen to her. Have you dealt with Nova Festival survivors?
Like I personally have not, but I want to say that I think something that I feel is a privilege in my work at Rimon Farms is really that connection between the diaspora and what's going on in Israel. Like as Neil was saying before, like we really feel that we are, one Jewish people, and we've seen how much love and support, like I can say on a personal level, but also just we see it every time I meet with our partners who come from abroad. I mean, it's so inspiring just to really feel how much love, like genuine love and connection to even, just our little organization in the Negev, and how much responsibility Jews feel for one another, even if they're living in different places. And so yeah, I think that like with all the horrible things that have happened to us in the last few years with the war and everything, like that there has kind of been this like renewal of connection between communities is such a beautiful thing. Like it's sad for me that, I'm sorry, I forgot the name of who you mentioned before. That was a Nova survivor, but it's like I'm sorry that was her reason that now she gets to go speak to diaspora communities. But I also think like we can look at it as like, okay, like this is now kind of this new avenue of connection between ourselves, and that's, I think, so important.
So tell us just a little bit about your work, Julia, in terms of your outreach to donors, to Jews in the diaspora, in particular in Montreal and Toronto, which I'm very happy to hear. What does your day-to-day look like?
Wow. My work is so dynamic, every day is really so different. But I will say my favorite part of the job really is meeting people in person and doing, we have like our partners come and we do visits with them. We show them the farms and meet with different people on our staff and different beneficiaries who have, received treatment. And for me, just being able to help facilitate these meetings and this connection is like just the most meaningful thing.
I mean, your life is very interesting. You made Aliyah. You moved from DC. You're working in this phenomenal job, which I myself am envious of, right?
Thank God.
Baruch Hashem, like
Avrum,
they
you
say.
can come walk with us.
Yeah.
I knew you'd offer
Come
me a
visit
job.
at least.
But you must be mabsuti. No, you seem very satisfied with your life.
Yeah, thank God. I mean, I think for me, something that's special about one of the many reasons that I feel so privileged to work at Rimon Farms is that it really gives my life in the Negev context.
Yes.
Like we moved down south because we really believe that it's important for us to be here, and specifically in the periphery. And we wanted to be close to nature and have community, that community that Nir was talking about. I really feel that, and I'm excited for my son to grow up in a community where everyone is raising him with me. Yes. But I think that kind of what I looked for when I was looking, for a job and everything, it's just really special to be able to work in something that's so meaningful and that really balances and aligns with my values. Like I think when all parts of your life kind of are able to be cohesive and aligned with the same vision, it really, it's really nice. It's a nice way to live.
How old is your son?
He is a year and 9 months.
Well, what is his character like? What is his Ophi like?
He's so fun and so cute and just friendly guy,
Very good.
Like his mom.
I can see.
Yeah.
Nir,
I've never seen Julia not laughing. She's always laugh. Yeah.
I love people like that. Nir, conclusion, I mentioned to you at the top of the show that the reason I do this is to pay homage, to give kavod, honor, to humankind through inspirational interviews. And the two of you have done very well. You've lived up to my expectations, so thank you. But my question to you is, you've worked really hard to find your derech, to find your way. And it's a very difficult thing for many people to get in their zone, as I call it, and to establish for themselves meaning and purpose in life. So I often ask my guests, please share with us what people can do who are lost, who are trying to find their way in order to feel that meaning that you feel in your life and that Julia feels in her life. What can people do?
What works for me after the terror attack, I felt like I'm in the darkness. I couldn't sleep, and I started to read like Rabbi Nachman and things like this, and also Zen Buddhism. And I imagined myself walking in very long tunnel, cold and wet, and I walking, I walk and I walk and I walk, and I walk every night it kinds of mindfulness. I've done to myself mindfulness that I'm walking in very cold and dark uh, tunnel, and I knew that every step I'm doing, i'm I'm getting more and more to the light, and in sometimes someday I'm going to find the end of the tunnel, or I'm going to see the light. So the first advice is to keep doing the good habits that you have. If you have good habits, preserve it, and if you have bad habits, forget it. Forget it. If you are now watching some, excuse me for the word, some stupid things in Instagram or TikTok or Facebook, so God gave you these minutes. What you're doing with these minutes? Walk, just walk in the tunnel. Go to the light. This איך אומרים גלילה? This
Like seeing, like
non-stopping seeing these reels and posts and videos in TikTok and Instagram. This is not what you're doing. This is not the thing you want to do. It's kind of addiction. Forget it. Go and walk to the light. So I'm like admiring of good habits. So try to get up as soon as you can in the morning. Maximum 5 a.m. maximum, and then you have the whole day to enjoy and to serve your people. This is one thing, and the other thing, and this is the only two advice, because that's enough. Never upset when something gets wrong, because if you want to change the world, there's so many things going to be changed any moment. You've got problem with your workers, with your cash flow, with your statutory status in your farms, in your in everything. Don't be mad. Don't be upset. You need to hug this like problematic situation. Love it and know for certain it's going to be. That's it. Wake up before 5 a.m. and hug and love these problematic events, that these like crises. Love it, because you know God, what he's doing. He's trying to do this. אל תעזרי לי עם זה. הוא מקיש הכי חזק. על מי הוא מקיש הכי חזק? על הכלים הכי חזקים. למה? הוא בודק שהם לא נשברים. ככל שהכלי יותר חזק, הוא מקיש יותר חזק. זה הצרות. אבל מה קורה לברזל שדופקים עליו? הוא מתחשל, הוא נהיה חזק, אז אי אפשר לשבור אותו. אז תעבור את זה, ואתה לא יוכלו לשבור אותך לעולם. Try to say things.
I like the way you let loose in the end. I knew you had to.
that God like knocks the hardest on the
His best tools.
Iron,
Yeah,
hard
or on
gold.
the on the hardest, like on the tools that can take it, you know.
Very good. Very good. I'm so happy that we're on the same team. I must tell you, you give me such confidence as a Jew, and especially in the diaspora. And I thank you deeply from my heart for that. I know so many of my listeners and viewers are going to feel the same. Like kol hakavod, not only for your work but for your ofi. Your parents must be so incredibly proud of you, Nir. Uh, kol hakavod.
I love them so much for what they gave me, the
What's your
value they
what's
gave
your
me.
father's name
Yitzhak,
and your mother?
Yitzhak and Batsheva.
Lovely.
They are from the Bible.
Yes, I know that. Biblical characters.
Yeah.
Julia, in conclusion, there are going to be people out there who are going to want to be part of Rimon Farms. What's your best advice to them if they want to donate funds, if they want to come visit and somehow add in various different ways? How do we do that?
First of all, through our website, we have a link to be able to donate there through JGive also. And feel free to reach out. We're on Instagram and Facebook, or through our website. You can find our email. And definitely come visit. We want to host you and meet you and create these meaningful connections.
Are there particular projects that I can contribute to if I really like working with children at risk? Can I say I want my funds to go there?
Definitely, definitely.
Okay.
We've
Okay.
got a book, Julia. We can send the book to Avrum and
Please.
Yeah, no problem.
Folks, in conclusion, over the last few months, I have been working with AI, and I've asked AI to produce poems about my guests. So I have a poem which is from AI, and it's called A Path, not to laugh, it's called A Path Back to Life. Do you want to hear it?
sure. I cannot wait.
You have no choice. In a quiet sheep pasture where hooves press gently into dust, Nir Amitay stands, an officer, still a reservist. But this is not a story of rank. It is a story of life, cleaved by a single night. A beer on Dizenkoff, best friends. The ordinary miracle of nothing happening until everything did. Gunfire, chaos, and Nir holding Shimmy, holding a heartbeat that would not stay. Afterward, he moved forward, as so many do, wearing grief like a second skin, unnamed and unexamined. Packed tightly behind the ribs, years passed. Then pain seized his heart, a language the body uses when the soul has been silent too long. And then another soldier burned himself alive, a scream made of fire, a desperate plea to be seen. Something in Nir cracked open. From that rupture, a question grew. What if healing had a place in land? Rimon Farms, wood and metal, breath and soil, yoga stretching grief out of muscle, acupuncture loosening memory from bone, meditation teaching the nervous system that is allowed to rest, a return to the body, a return to the self. Built just months before October 7th, as if the earth itself knew what was coming. When the sirens rose, that farm was ready to prevent, to hold, to stay. And then there is Ellie. October 7th morning, a call, a boy shot. Ellie ran toward the wound of the day, did everything a human can do when time is not enough. He stayed, but the boy did not. After that, Ellie vanished into quiet. Words refused him. The past refused to loosen his grip. Until a month ago, he arrived at the farm. Now there is a spark, small but unmistakable. Morning carries possibility again. Among the trees, among people who do not need explanations, something inside him shifts from survival toward life. For Ellie, for Nir, for so many carrying invisible wounds, Rimon Farms is not just a place, it is a path back to breath, back to presence, back to the fragile, stubborn courage of living again.
Wow.
Kedai?
Avrum, thank you so much.
Oh, thank
I'm
you.
going to cry in a second.
Are you a crier?
I'm crier. After the terror attack, I became crier. I've learned how to do it. Yeah, I cry all the time. And with your permission, Avrum, if
Yes,
it's
please.
okay,
Yes.
I would love to dedicate this chapter for our two partners, Liran El Musnino, who scrambled in October 7th to save Kibbutz Cholit, and he died. And he left Efrat and 5 children. He was the founder of the PTSD farm. So now Love Farm, it's Love Farm on the name of Liran El Musnino. And Adri and Neta, she was from the States, from California. She made Aliyah in the 70s. She was crew member in Rimon Farm, and she murdered brutally in Be'eri,
Sorry.
in her kibbutz. So I want to dedicate this chapter, with your permission, to Adrian and Liran, Zichronam Livracha. It was so meaning to be here with you, with Julia. Thank you so much that we have partners and friends like you, Avrum. And I want to say to all the community in Toronto, in Montreal, in Canada, in the States, in all the diaspora, thank you so much that you are not taking us for granted, and you still love us after all these years. Thank you so much.
Thank
I
you.
love you.
Thank you so much. Julia, any final words?
Thank you so much for having us. It was really such a pleasure.
A pleasure to have you.
And thanks for giving Rimon Farms this platform.
Yeah, it's an absolute kavod. It's an honor for me. So thank you to both of you. And I want to remind my viewers and my listeners that this podcast is recorded, and it is recorded right before the first night of Hanukkah begins. Light your candles, man. Light that menorah, and be a confident Jew wherever you are, and let that light illuminate, right, who we are as a people. And I'll tell you why, because we are a beautiful people, proud to be a Jew. Am Yisrael Chai. And I think Rimon Farms and Nir and Julia represent that so well. So thank you once again for being with us. Kol hakavod on your work, and I do hope that viewers and listeners are in touch with you to contribute through funds. Funds are always necessary, and in any way that works for them. So until we meet again, Chag Sameach, Am Yisrael Chai. Again, proud to be a Jew.
חג שמח, תודה.